Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to another edition of Talmbout Rasslin, right here on the Black Phoenix Network. I am your host, the untouchable J.R. Atkins, and this is your primary destination for wrestling conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very late edition of Talmbout Rasslin. It's been an interesting weekend, but not necessarily a bad weekend. Yesterday, I was going to do it. I had my little munchkins running around, my little friends running around. They want to do it while they were here. The time I got rid of them, the rest of the day had got away from me. And then this morning, because it's Saturday now, because normally they do it on Sunday. Saturday. It's Sunday now. Sorry. So Sunday, I came in to start, and I got wrapped up in another project for episode 50. You'll see it. It's going to be great. But got kind of wrapped up in that. So now we're getting a late start on the day. It's going to be a late episode, but that's okay, because it's better late than never. Again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being patient. For those who are so patient with me when I take my time to get these out, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Talking About Wrestling. Again, we are on the march to episode 50. It is coming quickly. And as in a matter of episodes, this is episode 47. All right, episode 47. That means there are only 3 more episodes until episode 50. It's going to be great. I don't know what I'm going to do. Oddly enough, hey, little spoiler alert. Oddly enough, I did the math. Episode 50 will take place on SummerSlam Saturday. Is that not wild? Is that not wild? SummerSlam Saturday, episode 50 will be taking place. And there's a very good chance 50 and 51 may happen in the same weekend. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but stay tuned for that. Great things could possibly going to happen here. It's going to be fantastic. I'm looking so forward to it. Thank you all. Couldn't have made it without you. We're growing. The plan is to grow. The idea is to grow. So we're growing and growing and growing. Again, thank you to everybody who's tuned in thus far. Thank you to everybody who has shared, liked, whatever you've done. Thank you for that. But we have a lot to talk about. A lot. It's one of those weeks again. So, again, we'll say real quick, like, share, subscribe, rating, review, comment, do all the things, engage, YouTube, Substack, Spotify, get with your boy. And I know what you came for, so let's do it. I'm feeling a bit nostalgic, and I'm feeling a bit undisputed, baby. That's right. The undisputed era, undisputed gold, the golden prophecy. I'm feeling a little nostalgic. Actually, I've been watching more the 2022 AEW, 2021, 2022 AEW. Mainly once Adam Cole arrived and everything that happened there. With the myaew.com thing, which works on Roku and Fire TV. So now I can watch those on TV. Who would have thought? There are 2 wrestling hubs now that I never would have thought would be that. And neither of them really involve WWE. Because who would have knew that Tubi would be a wrestling hub? And now we got my AEW, which carries a lot of independence. They just signed a deal to air Maple Leaf Pro on that every Thursday there. So major moves happening there. And you can order the pay-per-views there. I mean, I have HBO Max, but you can order your pay-per-views there. Who would have thunk that it would take AEW to give us, well, still wasn't WWE Network, but close enough. If you want to get caught up on AEW, it's a great way to do it. Just put it on. It really shows you how much AEW has grown. So that's random. I know I just went on a spiel there, but I'm very impressed with my AEW thing. Because at first I thought it was just going to be able to be on my phone, but now that I have it on like Roku and Fire TV, that I can just kind of have it on in the background in a way that it used to be WWE Network, but go figure. So, all that being said, moving along, we have a lot to talk about. And we're going to start in WWE. Oh boy. So last week, we talked about how WWE is going to WWE. They don't do anything else. WWE is going to WWE. We had Oba win King of the Ring. We had Sammy win the WWE Championship. We were on a path, a very interesting path for SummerSlam, and suddenly the rug gets snatched from under us again. Because Oba, fresh off his King of the Ring win, decides, hey, I don't want that title shot. I I want to fight Brock Lesnar in Hell in a Cell. What? What? Okay. All right. There was hope. There was hope. There was hope for some people, right? Because WWE, they know what they're doing. Triple H knows what he's doing. So it's probably going to be like Brock. The fear was everybody was afraid that somehow Brock was going to be the one to end up facing Sammy because Cody had won the number one contendership. So it was going to be Cody and Sammy on Raw. And like, oh no, Brock's going to end up being the one to face Sammy. And he's going to take the title, or he's going to take it at like Madison Square Garden or something. And then we're going to get Oba versus Brock for the title in Hell in a Cell. Well, that might have even made a little bit of sense, even if no matter how much I wouldn't have wanted to see it. It's not what we did, though. It's not what we did. So Oba wants to fight Brock in Hell in a Cell, and that's just that. That's just that. And Cody was the number one contender because he beat Jey Uso on SmackDown. And for some reason, that title match was taking place on Raw, even though it wasn't like a special edition of Raw or anything. Just for some reason, the match was there. Okay. And then, so Raw happens. All right. Raw happens. It just so happens to be in Chicago. That's not important at all. And Gunther then attacks Cody. Oh, I have to rewind because Oba's not facing a champion and going against Brock in Hell in a Cell. For some reason, then we're getting Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, even though Seth Rollins lost in the first round of the King of the Ring, and now has a title match. And LA Knight on this particular Raw came out to pretty much call Seth Rollins out on that because, yeah, yeah, yeah. So fast forward, Cody gets attacked by Gunther. Adam Pearce says, well, we're going to have a match regardless. You're still going to have a title match. We promised a title match, and there will be a title match. And lo and behold, look in my eyes. What do you see? A hypocrite indeed. Indeed. You know how I feel about that guy. CM Punk makes his return to WWE after losing for the first time since like the Raw after Mania. Which was like 3 months ago or so. He's back. He's facing Sami Zayn for the WWE Championship because Chicago, right? And guess what? CM Punk wins the WWE Championship from Sami Zayn. Yay, said all the boys and girls. Except they didn't. Chicago did, but they didn't. 9 days. We gave Sami Zayn 9 days with the WWE Championship. WWE is going to WWE all the time. All the time. And so, then on SmackDown, we have Gunther attacking uh, uh, Nick Aldis. That happened. And earlier in the show, you have Cody come out because he's technically a number one contender. I didn't even watch the promo because I don't even care. Once CM Punk is champion, I don't care. And I definitely don't care to see Cody as champion again. So there's that. So that they had a promo or something. And I guess Cody was like, hey, I'd like a title match. And CM Punk was like, sure, you can have a title match. And now we have a title match at SummerSlam. So both title matches have been set for SummerSlam. We have Roman and Seth. Seth, who lost the King of the Ring. We have Cody and CM Punk. CM Punk, who's been gone since WrestleMania. Cody, who did win his number one contendership, though seems not to really be concerned with Gunther anymore, I guess. I guess because he got a shot still. So that's cool. Sammy is currently nowhere to be found. Oba, who did win King of the Ring, is not facing the champion. He's facing Brock Lesnar in Hell in a Cell. Which won't even be a main event. Because when you got Roman and Seth and Cody and CM Punk, those are two matches that they definitely want to headline that pay-per-view. Maybe this will drive up those ticket sales that seem to be struggling so much, because given the fact that the event's in 3 weeks and they've only sold like 20 something thousand per night. I'm not a person who really cares about ticket sales like that, so I don't really care. It'll be, they're gonna get their money regardless. But here's the thing: they're probably really expensive tickets, because that's what WWE does these days. Go figure. So that's kind of the lay of the land. Also, we have Liv Morgan and Io Sky. That's happening, even though it happened already in the finals of the King of the Ring, because that made sense. And we don't know what's going to happen with Rhea, because Rhea is injured with a torn meniscus currently. So what are they going to do there? Are they going to crown a new champion? SummerSlam seems to be snake bitten for the women's championship, because like Naomi last year had to relinquish her title because pregnant after SummerSlam. So there's a chance that Rhea might not even make SummerSlam. This is the current lay of the SummerSlam land. I can't say that I'm looking forward. Can't say that I'm looking forward. Will I watch it? Probably. Probably. One way or another. Probably. I'll just leave it at that. Am I excited? Anticipating anything? Not at all. Not at all. Not in the slightest. Oba will go over. I don't even have to worry about that like I have in the past. Oba will go over. And then I don't know what we're going to do for him until maybe Mania or something. Or Rumble. Maybe he'll win the Rumble. Or Elimination Chamber. So maybe he'll get a title match at Mania. Who knows? Who knows? We didn't have to do any of that. We didn't have to do any of this. We were doing so well, and now we're not. Go figure. That's WWE is going to WWE. Period. CM Punk is champion out of nowhere. Sure, why not? The convolutedness of all these title matches are just what, why, what, and why. Meanwhile, in AEW land, it's a little different. It's a lot different. It's a lot different. Listen, as previously stated, we did the whole with Kenny. We did the whole, hey, You can never if you lose, you can never challenge for another AEW title, the world title again. And I pretty much knew. I'm like, well, probably would make sense for Kenny to go over here. Now that you had the stipulation, because the last two times this has happened, the person has lost. So it makes sense to have someone actually win third time to Shaw. Rule of three. But let's start from the beginning. This entire episode of Dynamite was actually very, 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 very good. Um, Starting out with Jericho, Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa gets the W after a very interesting match. The set. Let's start with the set because it was Beat Break, right? And they were in St. Pete, and like it was giving Bash at the Beach vibes a little bit. Um, very themed, sand buckets, lifeguard tower, surfboard, just beached out. So and it came into play, especially in the Jericho Ciampa match. Um, Ultimately, the finish there was Ciampa throwing sand into Jericho's face, hitting him with the knee, getting the 1, 2, 3, and then he went for the power drill, like he was going to do. He's never going to use it, but like, what if he does some kind of way? What would they? How would they? I don't know. I don't know. He keeps going for the power drill, and that seems to be a thing. Um, so that was hot stuff. Hot stuff. Next up, we had Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher, which again knew was gonna be a banger. I actually thought Takeshita would retain here, but apparently not. Apparently not. We have moved Kyle Fletcher from TNT to now international title. So good on him, I guess. Again, not sure where that leaves like Okada. Not sure where that leaves really anybody. Takeshita for that matter. That was tricky. Um we still have the Darby um aspect of things. This entire segment covered so much. So that match happened. We have Mick Foley coming out to interview later. He talks some. He is a really great way to basically say he's gonna shove his foot up Don Callis' ass. Fantastic, fantastic. Um, then that brings out like Andrade, who basically says, "Hey, I'm gonna take a title from you because I'm supposed to be world champion. You say you make me world champion, and you lied. So I'm gonna take a title from you." They basically say, "Well, hey, if you can beat Jake Doyle, you could have Mark Davis in the national title." He should absolutely beat Mark Davis if that's gonna happen, but we'll see. I actually would rather see him beat like Kyle for that title or the TNT. So I mean, there's that. Um, that leads to them giving chase to Andrade, who then runs to the back. The Don Callis family runs to the back. They're ambushed by Darby. They get the drop on him. They go to take his skateboard to hit him with it, but it is booby trapped and explodes in maybe Trent Beretta's face, I think it was. So yeah, Darby 2, Don Callis family 0. So go figure. Um, whole segment was loaded. We're doing a lot there, a lot there. Um, so again, I would rather see Andrade probably go after Kyle. I guess that doesn't make sense. And then you got Kevin Knight there. They got a lot of gold. They got those 3 titles: the international, the national, and the TNT. Um, which is an interesting perspective given what happened on Collision last night, but I'll come back to that too. So, um, next up, again, this is a huge Dynamite. Next up, actually, I think next up was Moxley and Will Ospreay taking on the Workhorsemen. I really didn't need this. I'm not sure why we did it. But like whatever. I mean, it was it was solid. There was no there was nothing really of note there. Um, just another win for Mox and Will Ospreay. Maybe that's building us towards whenever because I've seen people say like, oh, there's going to be the Will Ospreay Mox match eventually. One of them's going to turn on the other, and we'll get that eventually, which makes sense for this story to eventually end that way. And so maybe this belt builds towards that eventually. Maybe that's an all-out main event. It's Ospreay Mox for the title, and Ospreay finally gets his win back, and then we pay it off like that. Perhaps. Just throwing it out there. Then we get the Casino Gauntlet for the women's, and I heard the rumors, but I didn't think it could be true because it just didn't seem like it could be. And I might have mentioned it last week, but lo and behold, back in the fray, and now your next contender. I guess she's not number one contender. Maybe she's number two. I don't know. Um, to face Tekla at Redemption, the returning Willow Nightingale. Happy to see Willow back. Happy to see Willow get this win to get her a shot. And now I don't know. Now I don't know what's going to happen at All In because again, Tekla Mercedes doesn't technically make sense because they're such staunch heels. Like they're not even there's no tweener to them, neither. They're very much heels. However, after the Casino Gauntlet, Tekla attacks Willow, Mercedes, and Divine Dominion. Well, check that. Divine Dominion attack um the Sisters of Sin, which is interesting. Mercedes attacks Tekla and Willow, which leaves Divine Dominion and Mercedes standing tall. And now are they a thing? Or what? Did she kind of just pay them off? So now I don't know what now we don't know what's happening there. We don't know what's happening there. Um does Willow beat Tekla at Redemption? But then if she does, what happens at All In? I would not hate Willow and Mercedes at All In. That makes a lot more sense in any kind of story context um than the other way around. They've already had their three matches. Mercedes, Willow's actually up. The first match is when Mercedes got injured, and she went ahead and put Willow over because she was injured. Um, Mercedes gets the win back, wins the TNT TBS championship. Willow gets her win back and wins the TBS championship back from Mercedes. And if they were to run it back one more time for the women's championship, again, would be fine. Maybe. But do you want Willow kind of as this transitional champ between Tekla and Mercedes? Because that would be absolutely the definition. You want to do that? I don't know. I don't know. Um, Triple threat maybe, but maybe not. If the other thing goes the way I think it should or could go, I don't know. So it's a lot. It's up in the air. It's very much up in the air. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing with the women. Interesting problem to have. I have no idea what we're doing with the women. Um, and then on to the main event, a banger. Oh, just you knew it was gonna bang. You knew it was gonna be another fantastic main event. I think people don't give him his enough for a bunch of different reasons. MJF is the real deal. There has not been a main event that he didn't like really deliver where he was even close to 100%. So he absolutely delivered here. He took this table spot straight out of Mick Foley's handbook, and it looked gnarly. He went head first through the announce table. That was, like I said, gnarly. Um, Told a hell of a story throughout this match. Went to use a dynamite ring. Will Ospreay takes the ring. That pretty much opens up um, Kenny to take back control, take the match over, and ultimately win the AEW World Championship. And I want to say this the way that Excalibur said it. As it stands currently, the match for All In is Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega. That, as it currently stands, gives me some pause because now I'm like, well, what do you mean as it currently stands? What do you mean? What do you mean? That gives me, um, hmm, I don't know. Well, I put it this way: I have my theory. It's given card subject to change. So do we get into triple that again? That one phrase gives me a reason to be like, this story's not over. This story's not over. And let me tell you, so let's sit back a little bit. Sit my mic up. Sit back and talk to you. Let me talk to you. So those two title changes are not the same. They're not the same at all. Kenny beating MJF, CM Punk beating Sammy, not the same. For a variety of reasons. The setup was 100 times better, even though it apparently this was supposed to be the redemption match, and it was somebody's call for them to have it sooner. I'm curious now, what does redemption look like, and where does this main event look like? Is there the possibility that MJF is probably more injured than we thought? Perhaps. Does he maybe just need to stay off of it for a minute and he'll be good to go by All In? Also possible. Not sure why he would have particularly have to drop the title then, but whatever. Um, but he'll be fine. MJF will be fine. He's absolutely going to be AEW World Champion several more times over. One of the most poetic things that probably will happen will be the day that someone uses that stipulation against him and he has to fight to stay quote unquote relevant. Um, Not sure when that'll happen, but I think that is the most poetic thing that could eventually happen to him. So there's that. Right now we're looking at Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. Even if that's how it stays, perfect. Perfect way to get there. Perfect story. All of that. If you throw MJF in the mix, now you're cooking with gas. Now you're cooking with gas because MJF has a legit gripe with basically everybody. And him not as champion takes some incentives away and adds others. So there are things at play in AEW that aren't in play at WWE. It's very much like, okay, you gave me all your money, enjoy. Enjoy what? It don't matter. We'll figure it out as we go. You know what? USA did tell me that they wanted CM Punk as champion, so I was like, hey, make any of it make sense. Make any of it make sense. You know, Oba wouldn't want the title because he can get it whenever. That makes him look dominant. No, it makes him look dumb. Makes him look dumb. They're not the same. They're not the same. The companies aren't the same. The booking philosophies aren't the same. They really just wanted to get to Cody and Punk, and this is the way they chose to get there. This company, this company, it takes you for granted. It takes you and me for granted. It takes us for granted. It takes its fans for granted. It just does things. And that's why I'm a sicko. I've seen a lot of people making the conversion over to becoming a sicko. They thought, let me give AEW a chance. And you should, because AEW is great. But you know what? You don't have to like it. You don't even have to like AEW. And that doesn't mean that you have to like WWE. There's a lot of other stuff. You can watch TNA. You can watch a NWA, Maple Leaf Pro, GFW, your local wrestling outfit, whatever they may be. There's so much wrestling out there. There's so much for you to explore, to learn, to do the things. Do the things. Go find wrestling. Go watch it. Something beyond AEW or WWE, especially if you're sick of, you know, if you're sick of the trappings of the everyday mundane week to week Monday. Uh, so that's my spiel there. Um, oh man, we only learned 30 minutes. That's crazy, and I have zoned out a couple of times here. But yeah, that's it. SummerSlam seems to be um shit show. I don't even want to call it a shit show. But none of it makes sense. The booking doesn't make sense. Same thing with now AEW building up towards redemption at the end of the month and all in after that. Has a couple of different ways they can go. Now Collision happened when we get Hangman coming out and basically reiterating because they announced Hangman Friday. We get Hangman come out and basically reiterating he will not challenge for the AEW World Championship again. But I also but states that he is setting his sights everywhere else. TNT Championship, um, international, national, continental. You know, said he's gonna win some gold somewhere else. The mid card better look out. So looking forward to see where Hangman goes next. Um, there's some very interesting directions that he could take there. Um, whether that be, like I said, any of the titles that he named. Um, Kyle Fletcher brought up a good point, as I mentioned earlier, that like if you're looking for these titles, well, we own most of them, which is true. The Don Callis family, like I said, is in possession of the national, the international, and the TNT. And the Continental is held by John Moxley. So, you know, you're crossing either the Death Riders or the Don Callis family to get any title of those three. Conglomeration if you want to try the six man, but there's that. Um, for some reason, I feel like Hangman and Cope would be a really great match. I don't know why you would have it or how you would get there. I feel like that'd be a really good match. They ought to try to find a way to give me that before Edge hangs it up. I think that'd be a good one. Um, so I mean, there's that. Um, I have no doubts about Kenny as champion. Um, Kenny is going to deliver as he always does. The question then becomes Sure, he's the champion going into All In. Well, All In. Um, against Will Ospreay, and I highly anticipate Will Ospreay winning. But it's like, are we giving Kenny like a um a transitional reign as champion just for Will Ospreay? It feels that way. Um, maybe it felt that way with Darby. I don't know if we looked at Darby as a transitional champ because he lost it back to the guy that he won it from. So it's that. A little hot potato with the world championship, haven't done much to hurt anybody per se. I mean, there are people who were hurt. Neither here nor there. Um, yeah, that's the current state of WWE, AEW, and their world title situation. Um, even the women's seems different because again, Liv Morgan, Io Sky, nothing there. Probably going to get. It definitely seems more and more like we're getting Jade and Charlotte at SummerSlam. No title involved, just one on one. Very much okay with that. Um, the vision. The other thing that happened on Raw, completely forgot about this. The Vision defeated the Street Profits for the World Tag Team Championships or WWE Tag, whichever one they are, due to the help of Maxine Dupree. Kind of saw something happen in there. Didn't think it was going to be this, but I definitely saw something happening there. We all kind of saw something in the mix there that was making it very, I guess, to say, convoluted. I don't know. We saw it coming though. We knew Maxine had been talking to Austin Theory that the heel turn was coming. It came, and now the Street Profits are no longer the tag team champions. I don't know what we're doing with the Profits. I don't know what the goal is. I don't know what the plan is. But I guess I also don't know what the goal and the plan is for somebody like Private Party. But go figure. Or the Hurt Syndicate. Um, right now, it kind of feels like Hurt Syndicate is just doing like a higher gun. If I need somebody beat up, they'll come beat them up type thing. Um, little APA action there from the Hurt Syndicate. I'm not mad at that, but it's just a strange space for them to both be in, I guess. Um, and to say that they're basing anything off of that is insanity in and of itself. Go figure. Um, why did I get sleepy all of a sudden? Is it because I sat back? It's because I sat back. Let me sit up. You guys are seeing me sleeping on camera. So, there's not even a lot to cover. I said there was a lot, but there's not a lot. WWE stupid. And AEW not. AEW delivered us a banger. Now, apparently, the Sami Zayn CM Punk match was a banger, they say. But nobody wanted to see CM Punk as champion except for like CM Punk fans. And I guess maybe that matters. But like we were very invested, very interested in what does Sammy as champion actually look like. And then there were all these people who had something to say about Sammy as champion, one way or another, that he didn't deserve it, that he didn't look like a champion, he didn't blah 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 blah. And it's that thing to say, like, at least you had it. You can say that you are a former WWE champion, absolutely. But nobody wants their reign to end like that, let alone one that you've worked for so long to then end like that. It's usually Brock Lesnar. This time, Mr. Punk comes and does the honors. Um, so I mean, you know how I feel about that guy. That's all I'll say. I wrestled recently with the thought. I won't say wrestled, but just pondered. What would AEW look like if Cody was still around, particularly during the Brawl In situation? Would cooler heads have prevailed there due to Cody? Would he have put gasoline on it? Would he have stood with Punk over the Bucks? And we got this weird, like legitimate AEW Civil War? I'm very curious about that. It's an interesting domino there. Um, it's funny because I feel like with Punk, there's no real call to anything from his AEW run. Because he was just tearing it up in his own way, in his own style. And he was a menace to everybody else, but except for his friends. So I'm just curious what would Cody have done in just a general sense when it comes to CM Punk. Um, I'm just really curious. I'm just really curious. So, hmm. Wild time. It was a wild time. Anywho, that's the stakes. Elsewhere in Collision was kind of one of those supplemental things. The most newsworthy thing was basically Hangman stating his intention going forward. Um, we did get a match made, a 6-woman tag: Willow, Hyan, and um, Maya World taking on Divine Dominion and Mercedes Monet. That'll be on Dynamite. Um, probably need to. Well, yeah. So that's in motion. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I can't figure out the Willow Mercedes thing of it all. It's that Kyle doesn't have a clear challenger for his title. Neither does Kevin Knight, and probably Darby will probably have a match at Redemption, if not All In. So that's going to be huge. Not sure what the Bucks are going to do at All In, but uh, I can feel in my whatever. I would hope it wouldn't be something with FTR for All In. There's so many other options. My biggest prediction for All In, A, probably would be Cope and Cage versus the Bucks some kind of way. I think that's one of the biggest matches you can do. However, my prediction, one way or the other, whether they have a match or whether they um, just debut, Kofi and Austin are going to appear at All In. Is my pick. 110%. The no compete will no longer be in play. They would absolutely be free to debut on AEW television by All In. So my pick is absolutely that they will be there. I could be wrong again. Just my interpretation of the situation. Um, it's going to be a very interesting rest of the summer. 100% looking more forward to All In than I am SummerSlam. SummerSlam, like I said, I'll find a way to watch it. It is in no shape, form, or fashion um, destination watching for me. I would love to see Oba and Brock in the cell just because, and I know Oba's going to go over, but I have no interest in Roman and Seth for real. I have no interest in Cody and Punk hardly at all. EO Live, I don't care. I don't care. Trick. I don't know, and I don't care because that could potentially be Baron Corbin, who also returned to WWE this week. Left that out. Pick week, Hugh week. A lot of things happened, but you know that's wrestling for you. That's wrestling for you. I am going to go ahead and get out of here because my eyes are apparently having a hard time staying open. I need a nap. What happens when you're old, man? Friends, sometimes you need a nap. So, well, without further ado, you've seen me, my eyes rolling all over the place, blanking out, and all that good stuff. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching this old man ramble on camera for 45 minutes. Again, we're on the road to 50 subscribers by the end of the year. Episode 50 in 3 weeks. Tune in. Make sure you share, you like, you share, subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell anybody that'll listen. I'm going to be out in these streets. I got flyers on the way. I'm going to be out at some wrestling shows, local wrestling shows, 901 Wrestling. I might hit eventually. I'm probably hit Memphis Wrestling. There's another one that I just recently discovered here in Memphis that I probably will try to attend as well. Get my face out there and see if I can touch the people who need to be touched with consent. With consent. So, all that being said, I am your host, the Untouchable J-Rack, and this has been a sleepy ass edition, a sleepy Sunday edition of Talmbout Wrestling. And until next time, you already know, we are out. Baby!